finding the resultant force of the two given forces, Fa and Fb. The resultant force is going to be look like this. This is Fr that we are looking for. I'm going to use two methods to solve this. Method one is the Cartesian method. To use this method, first you need to break each force into its component. Fa is 2000 cosine 30 degree in I direction and 2000 sine 30 degree in J direction. I use these equations that I provided for you guys in here. Adjacent is cosine and the opposite is sine all the time. And if you solve this, it's going to be 1732I plus 1000 J. This is our Fa. I will do the same with B force, Fb. The magnitude of the force is 3000. Again, adjacent is cosine 45. But the opposite, which Fy, because Fb is acting in the negative B direction, therefore it's going to be 3000 times, negative 3000 times sine 45. And if you solve it, it's going to be, again, 2121 I and negative 2121 J. Cosine and sine 45 are equal. Step 2. Now that we have each force break down into its component, we can add I components to each other and J components to each other because they are collinear now. And if we add them to each other, what we form is called the resultant force in Cartesian format. Usually for homework or for exam, you will be asked to exhibit the resultant force in Cartesian format, which I'm doing now. And if you add them to each other, this is going to be 3853I and negative 1121 J. This is the Cartesian format of Fr, and I can calculate the magnitude of this force. So this is a vector, but the magnitude of it is going to be a scalar, a number, and I can use the square root of squares, 3853 square plus negative 1121 square, and if you solve it, it's going to give us 4013 pound. And step 4, usually it asks to find the magnitude of or the direction of this resultant force, which is the magnitude of this theta, this angle, with regard to x, and that's equal to tangent reverse Fy divided to Fx, and that's equal to tangent reverse negative 1121 divided to 3853, because this is our Fy and this is our Fx. So if you solve this equation, it's going to give us theta, which is negative 16.2 degree. That negative shows that it's acting in the opposite direction, and you can see that this is our Fr and that's theta that we calculated. Now I'm going to go to the next page, and I use another method, which is a graphical method, to solve the same problem. It's called parallelogram and triangle method. In this method, we have this Fa. We draw this another force equal and parallel with the second force that we have from the end of this force. So this is going to be 3000, equal to 3000 and parallel with it. And again, from the end of 3000, we will draw another force which is equal to 2000 and parallel with it. That's why it's called parallelogram. And this will give us FR. I need to do some calculations, therefore I'm going to draw this outside and find some parameters that I need. So this is 3000, this is 2000, again this is 3000, they are parallel, and this is 2000. Now from the original drawing you can see that this angle is 75. That means that this angle also is 75, and we can calculate these two angles because they are equal. I call them alpha. And also the internal angle for a parallelogram is 360 degree. So 2 times 75 is 360 degree. And if you solve it, alpha is going to be 105 degree. Now that we know alpha, I'm going to draw half of this parallelogram. Means that I'm going to draw a triangle. So a triangle using these two forces, 2000, 3000, and this is going to be our FR, we said. The good point is that we know the angle between 2000 and 3000, and that's 105. Now I can use this equation to find FR because I'm looking for FR. So FR square is equal to 2000 square plus 3000 square minus 2 times 2000 times 3000 cosine the angle between these two guys are 105, or FR is square root of the above 2000 square plus 3000 square minus 2 times 2000 3000 and cosine 105. So probably it's better for you guys to write it as square root. And if you solve this, it's going to be equal to 4013 pounds, which is the same as what we calculated in the previous slide. Now I'm looking for this angle also. Let's call this as beta. I can use the second set of equations to find beta because it's a triangle, and we can use the sine equations to find. So 3000 over sine beta is equal to, I'm using FR because we know FR that we calculated already, and the angle, the opposite of FR is 105. That one also we calculated. So from here you can calculate sine beta, which is 3000 sine 105 divided to 4013, and from there you can say that beta is, if you solve this, it's going to be 46.2 degree. So 46.2 degree, if you look at the original drawing, it's this one in here, and we have already 30 degree in it. So if we subtract that 30 degree, then theta is going to be 46.2 minus 30, and that's going to be equal to that 16.2, and you can see that it is again equal to what we calculated using the previous method.